much to the chagrin of literally one commenter. No shirtless fat guy in this episode of Locked On Coyotes. Hit the intro, Robyn. Let's get into it.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Coyotes, your number one daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. I'm your host, Robyn Leonio, alongside Maddie Jacobson. I want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. We're free and available everywhere you get your podcast. I also want to thank Jess Belmosto of Locked On Flames for joining us in the crossover episodes. We talked about the state of both teams, as well as taking a look at what a potential Noah Hanifin trade would look like. Didn't really get into any crazy specifics, but that's kind of the point of an episode. We kind of start hash out some ideas. And Matthew, you weren't on the crossover episode with us, so I kind of want to get your thoughts. In the episode we had with Jess, we kind of talked about some aspects of going for a trade. I did put a first round draft pick on the table, just because I feel like when you go in for someone like that, like a top 4 defenseman, like you're gonna have to need to do that. But when it came to trading a player away, I offered nothing more than like a Victor Soderstrom, and I feel like she even seen that it might have been fair.
Well, I do remember there was one mock trade that my eyes opened. It was basically a first and a second. The first was top 10 protected, and it was like Jan Unique and Victor Soderstrom. And I still stand by when it comes to like a big blockbuster trade. I don't want the Coyotes giving up too much. I think it's still a little too early. However, if that's all we're working with, like a first and a second, which is not nothing, obviously, but it's the Coyotes have plenty of draft picks, and then Unique, who's probably not going to be here anyway, and Soderstrom. I don't mind Soderstrom. He's not showing a whole lot at the NHL level, just mostly a decent season so far in Tucson. Yeah, where do I sign? Where is the dotted line that I may sign? Because a first and a second is much better than giving up, Mav or Geeky or Gunther. I saw one that was literally like, oh yeah, Dylan Gunther in a draft pick. I'm like, no,
like that's
not
happening.
happening.
Like if I'm Bill Armstrong and you have to pick up one of the blockbuster young guys, I'm not doing it. I'm absolutely not doing that. But
no.
And I feel like that's the thing, right? The Calgary Flames are in a position. They're in a bit of a weaker position here. I feel like the Coyotes have a lot more leverage here of being able to find with one, especially because one of their demands is making sure that he gets extended and gets signed before he even gets traded over. So, and I feel like that in itself is one thing. So offering a first round pick, next year's first round pick, top 10 protected, becomes 2025 otherwise first round, I would still take that bit, because the Coyotes, based off first round picks right now, at least that they had recently, have look promising, and I feel like they've stacked up on those prospects enough that they don't really need that much, especially since the expectation is but 2024's first round pick is going to be a late first round pick. So it's like, doesn't really mean all that much anyways. I'm not against it.
I'll do you one better. I'll take away the pick protections. If the Coyotes genuinely are looking into a trade like this, and obviously multiple reports that Bill Armstrong made multiple calls, like he was interested. It wasn't just he made a single phone call type thing. That's how it was characterized. I'll get rid of the top 10 protection. We'll swap out the top 10 protection to keep the second round pick, as the Coyotes love owning the second round. But seriously, a first, Soderstrom and Unique, you can have him. All right. I like Soderstrom. I like Unique well enough. I don't see either currently being in the team's future. I hope they go to Calgary and be successful. We'll take a Noah Hanifin, because then if you're throwing Juuso Välimäki to the third pair, Juuso Välimäki's shown he can be a top 4 defenseman. That just means you're kind of bolstering up the defense.
How about this? Imagine if you had 2 former Flames on the same pairing.
Be interesting, considering I've compared them offensively. Hanifin is the better player. I said that at the time.
No doubt.
Not changing the mind on that. He's also better defensively. He's a better player. But you have 2 defensemen that fill very similar roles. I could also imagine that if one's having an off offensive night, the other one can pick up the slack. If one's having an off defensive night, the other pick up the slack. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. Like when you have the offensive defenseman with the defensive defenseman, you kind of have both at the exact same time, where they can swap roles whenever, is what that would feel like to me.
It's a good balance out, right?
Yeah. I like it, especially if Jonathan Dursey is going to miss some time. He's day-to-day, by the way. Didn't know how else to throw that in there. So, Sean Dursey, day-to-day, per Andre Tournier.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. But definitely wanted to get your thoughts about that, because I feel like, as we get further into the month, I feel like the rumors start to ramp up a little bit more about this trade.
Mm-hmm.
And the only team that has made more than just one article or like one tweet is the Coyotes. So like if the interest is genuine, and if the Coyotes don't have to give up a lot, then let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Unique Soderstrom in the first, you can have that. I'm sleeping like a baby with that trade. I don't care about even as high as like 16th overall when the Coyotes have more than enough prospects. They're fine.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to continue this episode of Locked On Coyotes. We're going to get to a little bit of an arena update. You might have, if you've followed social media and followed the interwebs lately, you'll know that there was a quick update by yours truly. We'll get to that, as well as talk about the Coyotes' upcoming games. They got the Flyers coming up. We'll get to that right after this. Where is it?
Right there.
There it is. And today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. I know we come to sports to escape from some crazy realities of real life, but can we just talk for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like I cannot pronounce that. Right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade. This is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than if anyone in my immediate family or some of my closest friends got sick while on a supply chain issue kept them from life-saving medication that they needed. Thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. Jase Case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. This stuff can happen to any of us. Visit jasemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. You'll be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacist at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared than today. Go to jasemedical.com. Use offer code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your first order. I want to thank everyone once again for making Locked On Coyotes your first listen every day. For your second listen, be sure to just check out Locked On Sports Today. They got a 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube where you can get all the latest updates in sports news 24/7. That's right. It's going nonstop streaming, Matthew. That's a fun thing to keep on if you're someone who enjoys sports.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm more of the lo-fi beats to study to kind of guy. Especially like they'll do them for like Skyrim, like just remixes of Skyrim music that slaps at like 9:30 at night.
Lo-fi beats. It reminds me of when I was in college, and anytime our Robo DJ went out in student radio, mm-hmm. Lo-fi beats was like on bookmark, like put this on if the Robo DJ goes out, and I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, because you chill. You vibe. That's what I like about it.
It's like, hey, it's okay. Something might be broken, but it's all okay.
Your house might currently be on fire, but it's okay. It's fine. It's a good fire.
Anyways, we got a really quick arena update. I posted on FiveOrHowling.com an article if you haven't been up to date. Just updating everybody on the arena situation. Most things that you guys already know about. Talking about the, hey, that the Coyotes are on the verge of purchasing the land in Northeast Phoenix, just off the 101 corridor, east of the 51. The only thing that I have left out for the longest time that I'm just about to say that I said in the article this time, I said most notably near the Mayo Clinic and the Desert Ridge Marketplace. So I feel like a lot of people don't understand, because people still say, oh, that's a huge sloth. I mean, it still is, but some people still don't understand term I'm looking for, pinpointing exact locations, because it's just like, it's like, oh, that's northeast, like it's all the way up there. It's like, it's actually not that bad, for being real. But there's gonna be that, so they're on the verge of getting there, Matthew. I feel like it could be any day now. It looks like the Coyotes are teasing it. At their Twitter admin started teasing new arena and doing gifts and everything.
My favorite was there. The Moon and Glendale 2.0.
The Moon and Glendale 2.0. I love that. That was hilarious. Honestly, the
reason I love it is because I won't stop saying this. That is still technically a possibility. It's not. It would never happen. No, I'm saying it technically could.
I laugh at the Moon one because, if we go back to a week and a half ago when I first posted the my first tweet dropping hints to everyone of the map of the East Phoenix, Scottsdale, North Tempe, and North Mesa or Northwest Mesa, and the little bit of the Indian Reservation, because it kind of all fits into that one map. I said, hey, somewhere on this map, the Coyotes are working on their arena project, and then one of my followers goes out and quote tweets it and says, and with the exact same words, somewhere on this map screenshot, the Coyotes are working on their arena project, but it's a picture of Earth from space with the moon in the background, and someone's like, the Coyotes to the moon confirmed.
Like NHL hits, like there's an arena on the moon. Great game, by the way. Side note, EA does not have exclusive rights to the NHL license. Someone needs to step up and make a new NHL hits game. I want to play on the moon. Modern graphics, Clayton Keller to Logan Cooley. That's my piece.
That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we're slowly getting teased a lot more of the exact location as we're getting there. People were still speculating a lot. Again, like I said, I cannot confirm the exact parcel of land. All I can tell you, it is essentially going to be like on that 101 corridor around that Phoenix Scottsdale border. And I feel like based off the information, if a lot of you guys follow Craig Morgan, he also set out a tweet with a video of him off of an unfinished ramp off the 101, unfinished exit ramp off the 101 and 64th Street. That is east of the Desert Ridge Marketplace and just west of Scottsdale Road. And I feel like we talked about that. Expect maybe something like that, because I feel like that kind of sets things out.
It works. I mean, pretty much you already have the exit mostly ready for you. The location that I prefer is a little bit west of Desert Ridge, just because like the parcel of land would probably fit perfectly. But I think that one would be a little bit of a pain getting an extra.
I mean, even that land west of Desert Ridge is huge. I think I did a little bit of a measurement of it. It's still like 200 acres, which is like 4 times the size of the Tempe Entertainment District. So like no matter what parcel of land they pick, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be they're gonna get their size that they need.
Yeah, because like it was 38 acres. The site of the TED, wasn't it? It was 38 or 39 acres. It wasn't that big.
It was just under 40. Yeah.
So it's like when I was talking to like my brother about it, and he was like, "Oh, there's not enough land over there." I'm like, "Dog, you're wrong." Oh, I drive by it every day. Okay, you can still be wrong. You're still incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, they can still do like the same blueprint, but they can spread things out a little bit more, kind of make things a little more landscape friendly.
You can also, as a small dig at Tempe, you could build a park.
Yes.
Park right there.
Oh my God, I would love that. I would love that so much.
Watch out for this on my personal channel. Every time I make news arena videos, be it a speculation video or hey, we got this minor bit of information, more news drops within a couple of days. So expect it just random like Tuesday evening. Oh yeah, the deal's finalized.
Yeah. One thing I will say, one thing I will add, and it's based off a comment that we got on our channel. And then even a little bit more past that. A lot of people were talking about it on Twitter and everything else, or X, I should say. You know, we're trying to get used to that, apparently. 99% of that land off that corridor, Matt, is owned by the Arizona State Land Department. Hence, it is public land. The only private land that is in that area is owned by I believe, is owned by the Mayo Clinic, and all their land is actually primed for them to expand their campus. So anything else, it's public land. And I know what a lot of you guys might be thinking is like, oh, here we go again. This is gonna end up becoming a disaster. I feel like a lot of this stuff is already happening behind closed doors. A lot of like the discussion on trying to get the purchase. Once the Coyotes purchase the land is theirs. I mean, they had to go through a bid, I believe, a bidding process through the State Land Department. But I'm pretty sure that because they've already had discussions, probably, but in closed doors. But at this point, the only other thing they had to deal with, and doesn't surprise me because it's something that I believe that no matter what we'd had to deal with, whether it was in Mesa or here in Phoenix, is got to go through a public meeting with the city of Phoenix for a rezoning. Because guess what? You just can't build a mixed use district on non-mixed use land. It's not mixed use up there. It's either commercial or just regular commercial or residential. I think most of it is residential, like low or even rural. Because again, that land is undeveloped, completely undeveloped. So they have to get it rezoned. But that's just a simple meeting. This is not like a Tempe Entertainment District style general plan rezoning of a lot of other crazy things that trigger a election. The Coyotes know what they're doing. At least you'd so hope so.
Well, I mean, unless it's that one parcel of land that's not owned by the Mayo Clinic and owned privately that we notice on the public registry. Unless it's that land, then
you're talking about on the other side of Mayo and the other side of Arizona State Route 1, the 64th Street and Mayo Boulevard. There's that area right there. It is owned by a limited liability company called just 64th and Mayo Bidders LLC.
I'm just saying, unless it's that, because obviously Mayo
Clinic, it is about 40, and it is about like 46 acres too. So that's like,
it works. If it fits, it ships. But no, like with any public meetings, because even like I love when like I talk to know-it-alls. Like, oh well, any rezoning, it's a public meeting. I'm like, yeah, but not a public vote. Anyone can come in and drop their opinions. I could show up at the meeting and be like,
but the Phoenix City Council,
hockey.
But the Phoenix City Council is the one that ultimately has the decision.
Oh, but think about it like this, Robyn. The city of Phoenix, there is evidence that they've wanted the Coyotes back for years. That it would be more tax dollars going to the city. All right. I personally asked that question on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about would they have been better in retrospect renovating the Madhouse, because how soon is Phoenix going to want them generating tax revenue in the city? That's the reason kind of hope Matt HBO would have bought the team. But if you build in Phoenix, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be like, oh no, please don't build a $2.3 billion entertainment district in our city that would generate tax dollars for us. Please don't do that, Mr. Morello. We would like to have dirt or a toxic landfill that we're going to have to spend 200 million on fixing.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other aspects too. Like, I'm sure the Morello group is still going to ask for some tax abatement similar, but like, as anyone building a massive development is going to get, like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Exactly. That's the kind of the point of G-Blitz in the state of Arizona. But
like in the West Valley, I don't know if you've been out here very much, like everything, all the warehouse districts, all these big like I know we're running out of time for the segment, but all of these things get either tax breaks or abatements, which is just essentially a delay, depending on how it's structured. Layman's term, that's basically what it is. Like, it's all because you're putting up like billions of dollars in construction, and you're creating jobs, and you're generating tax revenue. There's gonna be tax breaks no matter what. Tax breaks don't necessarily cost you. It depends on how it's structured, because how it should, like, logically speaking, a tax break is normally I would give the government $1,000. Now I'm only giving them $800. That doesn't mean I stole $200 from you. People don't know how the system works.
Yeah, it certainly is something that felt like that needed to be clear up. One thing that we didn't mention on the last episode that you cleared it up.
Yes, I cleared it up. What?
It goes.
Robyn is on pause. You back? We got you. We got you back.
Yeah, I didn't realize you just started saying some random stuff that I was paused. I was like, wait a minute, made no sense. This is what happens late at night when we record. But we did, like I said. So wow, where was I going with this?
You
made me lose my train of thought.
You were saying like something that I said before or
elaborated
on before.
You were talking about you were mentioning the update that you can expect the Coyotes, if everything goes to plan, at the very latest, they'll be breaking ground by summer of 2024.
Oh yeah, because Craig Morgan updated that like the earliest shovels can hit is July. I don't exactly know why he didn't elaborate on that, but he dropped that on a post, like a post game. They clipped the next day.
Yeah, but like I said, they're going to be avoiding a public vote. Mm-hmm. A lot of these things are happening behind closed doors. We're not there, so we cannot tell you. Oh yeah, this is going to be this exact piece.
Yeah, and like we can only tell you what we know, and what we know is, well, this is.
Even our sources would only take us so. Even our sources would only take us so far because they're not in those doors either.
Or even some of them just like logically, it like I work at multiple buildings. If I started telling you, oh yeah, this conversation's happening, I'm getting fired. So take that, and then with anyone who would have knowledge of the situation, you could add two into yourself, like who would reasonably have any information on stuff like this. Like, someone could get fired.
Certainly. But we're going to continue this episode of Locked On Coyotes. That's enough of the arena update for now. We'll provide more when it comes out. But what we're going to do is we are going to take a quick preview as the Arizona Coyotes continue their historic winning streak. We will get to that though right after this.
And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, the NFL season stays hot with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if the Cardinals win. If you choose to bet on the Cardinals winning, if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get into the action. The app is so easy to use with a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Let's continue this episode of Locked On Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes, Matthew, are looking to continue their winning streak. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Of course, the most historic bit has already come and gone. But now
there's no more Stanley Cup winners to play.
I mean, unless you're talking about the Penguins in about a week from now. But that's kind of like at that point, that team is so far removed from their Stanley Cup.
They still got Sidney the Kidney. They're good. They're fine.
Who knows? But the Coyotes versus the Flyers tonight in just a few hours when everyone is listening to this episode. We're almost there. And the Coyotes trying to get to a 6-game winning streak. Can they do it?
I mean, if Connor Ingram keeps doing Connor Ingram things, over the last 10 games, Philly is 6-3-1. They're playing so much better this year than I expected. I'm going to assume a lot of other people expected as well. Coyotes also 6-3-1, but they took them a 5-game winning streak to get there. They're very similar teams in the last stretch in terms of the record. Power play, Coyotes back in the top 5, 26%. Philadelphia, they struggled. 12.2%. They are 28th in the league. Penalty kill, Coyotes at 81% are 12th, and Philadelphia is 85.4%. They're 6th. Philadelphia has an excellent penalty kill. Coyotes, it's getting better. That they are steadily improving, still a little bit more towards the middle of the pack. So special teams is going to have to be important for the Coyotes, but I kind of feel like we say that a lot. Goals for per game, Coyotes 3.33. They are 10th, top 10 in goals for per game, whereas Philadelphia 2.88. They are 22nd, and the Coyotes also got that goals against per game right back where they want it, 2.83. They are also 10th, so top 10 in both categories. But Philadelphia is 2.80. That's 9th. They are one slot ahead. The Coyotes, if they can keep scoring and they can the defense and goaltending hold up, they'll be fine. And unless Robyn has anything to add, I want to talk about goaltending for like 30 seconds. So you got anything to add so far, or you along for the ride?
The only other comparison I will make really quick is a coaching difference here. We got old school versus new school here. John Tortorella versus Andre Tourigny. It's gonna be that'll be interesting.
It's always interesting whenever the old guard meet the new guard type thing, because it happens every 15, 20 years or so. But let's talk about kind of hot. 7-6-1 record, 2.55 goals against, 913 save percentage. Very good season. He's a good young goaltender. Would you believe if I said Connor Ingram's numbers were better? I mean, I know you should, but like, would you believe me if I said Connor Ingram's numbers were better than kind of hots right now?
If we talked about like weeks ago, months ago, no, I'd be like, no.
You'd be like, what are you talking about, kid? 11-3-0. I think it's 6 straight that Ingram has won, or the 5 straight. It's 6 or 5 straight. 2.23 goals against, 930 save percentage. Every time I say that, I'm gonna get loud because that is cartoonish. That is elite. That is, he will be in consideration for the Vezina should he keep this pace. If he has similar numbers in February, we are starting the Vezina campaign, Robyn. We're going to do it on this show.
Oh, I'm for that. I'm 100% for that.
Excellent. Excellent numbers out of him. If the offense can just keep chugging along, and the defense, despite another injury, but Sean Durzi should only miss a couple games. It's day to day. If the defense can hold strong, Connor Ingram was also complimenting the defense playing in front of him, and the offense can just keep chugging along. They're going to lose games, but it kind of feels like right now they're never going to lose another game again. So watch it be like a 4-2 finish. They lose this one and get back on track afterwards.
It certainly feels that way because you have a really hot goaltender. You got a really hot goal scorer in Michael Carcone. A lot of other depth players have been crucial to the team, like Michael Kesselring. So like it just feels like this team has just been so complete right now. Yeah, there's still some injuries, like you mentioned. Sean Durzi's day to day. We don't know where he's going to look like. Some players are still going to be out for a few more weeks. Barrett Hayton, unfortunately. But this team still looks great. They still look complete. And it's hard to bet against them when they're on a run like this.
Yeah, it is hard, and I'm not sure if I'm just still trying to keep the slight pessimism hot streak going, because for whatever reason they love shirtless fat guy on the shows. Apparently that's the Coyotes just love shirtless fat guy in the locker room right now. But it's gonna come to an end. I'm just not sure when. They're gonna lose games, obviously, but right now it feels like they're never gonna lose again, and it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes, because it's not going to last. But, man, I'm having so much fun right now. This is good hockey.
Speaking of something that's so much fun, I do want to show you something really quick before we get ready to close things out. And then after this, I will turn back and get to our actual predictions for the game. But I almost missed my opportunity to show this. I want to do it now. This week, we released our updated power rankings. And this time, Matthew, we didn't do based off division. We did it based off of all 32 teams, 1 through 32, right? Look at how far the Coyotes have climbed.
Isn't it beautiful? Although I will say this, I will nitpick slightly. Winnipeg should be above the Coyotes, because I want the Coyotes to be motivated enough to be able to beat Winnipeg.
You mean the Atlanta Thrashers?
Oh yeah, I apologize. Excuse me. Beat the Atlanta Thrashers.
And also take a look. Philadelphia is down at 19.
Yeah, it's interesting, because both these teams, very similar records, very similar the last 10, very similar results-wise. Actually, the exact same record, and there's a pretty big gap there. It's like 6 spaces.
I can't remember what I voted the Coyotes at. I don't think I put them at 12 or higher than that. I feel like I had them at like 14 or 15 or something like that.
At least they're not 32nd. At least they're not San Jose.
We just take a look at any of the bottom four. any of the bottom 4. Ottawa, Columbus, Chicago, or San Jose. Speaking
Anyone
of that,
else find it funny how Chikrin leaves to go play for a real team, and that real team is that low?
It is. It does feel nice, doesn't it?
It feels nice that the Coyotes get to finally win something. We're finally winning the brownie points.
Absolutely. But let's get to our predictions for the game. I don't have the odds currently up. But what are your predictions? What's the score? What's the final score?
Philadelphia wins, and because I say that, it's probably going to be like 5-1 Coyotes.
I'm going to make this one a 5-3.
Okay.
Arizona Coyotes win.
What about the anytime scores? Because obviously it's boring to say Keller and Schmaltz. I'm a little sad Kellerman didn't make me look smart last game, but let's say what's a name? What is Patrick Cook gonna play? Sure,
he got sent back down, didn't he?
No, they called him up today.
No, but they sent him back down like just a couple hours later.
I hate paper transactions, man. I hate them with a pet. You know what? Goalie goal. Connor Ingram's gonna score.
Goalie goal. I love it. We saw one a week ago, didn't we? From some
Tristan Jerry.
There it is. Yeah. Let's see. It's easy to pick Carconi on the run he's had.
You know what? Let's be more impressive. Carconi doesn't score for the next 6 games in a row. Book it.
No, I don't want to do that to him, though.
Remember, whenever I'm negative out of spite, they always shut me up. So, you know what? Carconi's never going to score another goal the rest of his career. He is an ECHL bum masquerading as an NHL bum. Go get that hat trick tomorrow, King.
You know who's gonna get who's gonna have a 2-point night?
Who?
2 points. So essentially it could be either goals or assists. Michael Kesselring.
Oh, I was gonna get the Logan Cooley jersey. You know what? I'm fine with that. You know what? I'll do you one better. He scores a goal tomorrow. Tonight.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Until tonight. So tomorrow.
I love it.
You know what? If Michael Kesselring actually does score tomorrow, I will buy a Michael Kesselring jersey. I will keep making more dumb bets because that's how I make my money, by losing money.
I mean, that's how we and that's how a lot of you guys just enjoy to keep tuning in, because you always want to see Matthew,
Shirtless
the
fat
AZ
guy.
sports guy, shirtless
That too,
fat
the
guy.
shirtless fat guy.
You always want to see shirtless fat guy lose his bets.
Is it the Coyotes win 10 in a row? Shirtless fat guy comes back for a whole episode.
Are you booking it?
I'm booking it. If the
Okay, there
Coyotes
we
can
go.
manage 5 more wins, you get a whole episode of shirtless fat guy, and I will free the nip next time. I won't put band-aids over it for my sensibilities.
Oh my God.
Take the mic away from me. I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes. Just
This is going to
talking
be it for
junk.
today's episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube, SiriusXM, and ad-free on Amazon Music. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, and on X at LO_Coyotes. I'm personally at Robyn_Leonio. Matthew Jacobson is at the AZ Sports Guy. Interact with us, ask a question you might have. We might answer right back or in a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.